The new Lilo and Stitch film is in cinemas. Can it hold up to the original? Let's talk about it. Hi, my name's Drew and welcome to another review video on Flying Wiener. Now, just for full disclosure, I am not a huge Lilo and Stitch fan. They have been in the cultural zeitgeist obviously for a long time. I have been aware of them. I just have never watched the film. Fun fact, actually, I just didn't manage to. I did plan on watching the animated original before going to the cinema to see this new live action remake, as they call them. Didn't manage to. Watched it a week later, so I have examined both of them. Now you might say that was a big travesty watching the animated one after the original, but it wasn't an issue for me. I feel that they each have their own sort of things that make them shine, really. So, yes, I mean, I will also be discussing that part. I'll leave a bit till later. Like always, I'll be talking about the plot first, just before I get into that. I thought it was really fascinating to see. I was a bit shocked because Stitch really is a lot, in people's awareness. So the film came out over 20 years ago, and I feel that there was never a time where you didn't somewhere see the figure of Stitch, so he was very recognisable. I was quite shocked to learn actually that the worldwide gross of the animated version of Lilo and Stitch only made $270 million worldwide. I was like, what? How is that possible? Because even this live action remake, obviously it's gotten a lot of following since the original. Yeah, a lot of people are really liking this franchise. I mean, there are several films to my knowledge and even spin-off series or whatever. But just in the first weekend alone, Lilo and Stitch, this live action remake, made more money than the original did in its entire run. It's really fascinating that. I mean, it just shows you, again, how much following they've managed to garner in all that time. Yeah, so that's just something I thought was really curious about this whole thing. So, just in case you are unaware of the plot, what is this film about? It's actually a really fun, weird story, I think. What we have here is a sort of alien galactic council. They are deciding the fate of this mad scientist who has created this experiment, which is Stitch, this multi-armed little furry beast, which apparently is the ultimate agent of chaos or evil or what have you. So he's very intelligent, he's nearly indestructible, and he just has an apparently natural drive for chaos. They decide what's going to happen is they're going to exile this animal. They're going to shoot him off into space to a different planet. One that has a lot of water because, as they explain, his molecular density gets so high with water, you know, he'll basically drown immediately once he gets there. What they didn't think about in their calculations, and I thought this was quite funny, I really like that. I saw it in the original as well. I thought it's really fun to think that a small miscalculation is what basically starts the whole story. They accidentally shoot him off to a little island of Hawaii instead of into the water. And so they decide they're going to send the scientist and an alien expert on Earth to try and retrieve this experiment. So that's the one half of the story. We've got this alien on Earth, basically. The second half is we've got this little girl. Her name's Lilo. She lives with her sister. The parents unfortunately passed away, so the sister is trying. She's barely adult herself, I mean age-wise. She's trying to look after her sister, trying to maintain a job, and it's all proving very difficult because from the get-go, from the start of the film, we see social services are involved, checking up on them, making sure that the whole thing does actually work. Which is also not easy because Lilo herself doesn't exactly fit in. At least in society, in the groups that she's in, we see that she is, you know, she wants to make friends, but we see girls, for instance, because they're all in a dance class together. Other girls are picking on her, bullying her, and she also, well, let's put it this way: she has a very, very short span to keep her anger in check. So she immediately flips on people when she is wrong. You know, I'm not saying that she's the aggressor or anything, but she does seems tend to go a bit over the top. Anyway, so she's having difficulty fitting in, and it spills over into all sorts of problems. Her sister's trying to maintain the family unit, trying to keep her, because as social services are telling her, you know, if this doesn't work out, they'll have to take Lilo away. And in comes Stitch. He, in trying to hide from his pursuers, because he learns quite quickly that he is being pursued by these two other aliens, he thinks it's a good choice to sort of mingle with the locals. So he pretends to be a dog. He removes two of his arms, so he's only got four limbs, you know, instead of 6. He removes the antenna he's got, but he remains a little blue furry dog. And it is really a bit funny to me. I'll come to comparisons later. That's one of the things that to me was strikingly different between this live action remake and the animated original. But that is what happens. So Lilo, you know, she wants a dog. They adopt this dog, and gradually the two get to know each other. The Stitch, as is his nature, is very chaotic, so he himself gets up to a lot of mischief, and he brings a lot of chaos into this already quite volatile situation. But I mean, it works quite well in the whole context. It creates some very funny situations also with the two guys, the two aliens pursuing them. Adds a lot of randomness. You're never quite sure what is going to happen, right? That's just about all I'll tell you about the plot. So we've got aliens trying to track down their failed experiment. All the while we've got these two sisters who are trying to somehow just get their lives in order so that they can stay together. And these two worlds collide, basically. Yes, it's a very fun story, and I suppose what people are quite interested in are the comparisons. I just mentioned one of them. What I found was quite funny is, I mean, when you see Stitch pretending to be a dog, there's no hope in hell that anyone would ever think this is a dog, right? Interestingly, this was more of a topic in the animated original than in the live action one, where obviously in the live action it was even more glaringly obvious that he was not an actual dog. And originally everyone's like, oh, you know, what is this thing? I found that quite funny, actually. You've got a lot of people complaining about a lot of things, especially pertaining to the end of the film. I don't really have an opinion of it. I mean, to my understanding, some of it is quite political with Hawaii and this idea of social services coming in. People relate that to all sorts of things from Hawaiian history and the US sort of being overbearing and all these kind of things. I can fully understand not really being knowledgeable about that, you know, is not really a place where I can make a connection, but I fully get that. One main issue, and this is a spoiler, I mean, I won't go into specifics, they changed the villain, right? They changed the villain from the animated original, which, having seen the animated original, I mean, I like that version, I like that villain, I think he's cool, but I do understand why they did it. They also not only changed the villain, but they also changed the aliens, because in the animated original, they just wear wigs and clothes and just try to sort of be undercover that way. Here, they sort of apply some science, wibbly wobbly stuff that just changes their appearance to turn them human. I must agree though that this was the correct choice for live action, because it would just look really silly and so much out of place in a live action version of the story. It works fine for the animated original, but I understand that people, when they make these remakes and they do live action, I do feel that they should be a bit more grounded in reality. To me, that just feels a bit more fitting. So that I am not objecting to. The change of villain, I don't see as a big thing either. I mean, the one in the original is pretty cool, and it is a shame that we didn't get him in this version. But at the same time, I don't think it's a big thing, because to me in the animated original, the character who is the villain here is also in the animated original. And to me in the animated original, it didn't feel quite right, because suddenly there's a shift of character. Suddenly he's basically a good guy. To me in the animated original, that didn't feel quite warranted, this sudden switch. So I felt fine with it being here in the live action version, that this person who previously was just a character is now suddenly the villain. It feels, to me, it's a very natural fit. Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, they'll obviously be setting up further stories. To my knowledge, it is quite successful, so I'm expecting Disney's going to lean into it. Now that Snow White was a huge disaster, they'll be happy that they've got somewhat of a hit on their hands. I think in this live action remake, I felt the connection, the relationship between Lilo and Stitch a lot more. Where in the animated version, the original, it felt like they didn't, you know, they weren't always in the same wavelength, you know, not always going in the same direction. Here it felt like they grew together a bit better, in my opinion. None of the two versions are bad, so the live action remake was actually better than I expected it to be. I can easily see why you would prefer the animated original. It is wonderfully drawn. I particularly like all the designs, Lilo and everyone else. I really love those designs. Yeah, I like you know, all these cultural aspects being brought in from Hawaii. The one other big thing is the theme of being left behind. That is also a big topic of contention because they changed that a bit in this new version. Again, because I'm not so culturally invested in Hawaii, not knowledgeable too much about it, that didn't feel like a big, huge change to me, but I understand that it's a big thing to other people. I just think that the relationship between the two sisters was done quite well in the live action remake too. So if you've got kids, this is a full recommendation for me. I thought that Stitch, the character, he is incredibly fun. You know, he is a lot of fun. I found him a bit less annoying in the live action remake, although he does cause a lot more chaos in the kitchen in the live action remake. I was just watching, I was like, how do you tidy that up? You know, I was like, oh God. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. My daughter, she had a lovely time at the cinema watching this film. So yes, in that sense, it's a high recommendation from me. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. It is the best way to support this channel. Leave a comment down below about anything you want to say, and apparently according to the internet, there is a lot to say about this film, you know, comparison-wise, culturally, blah, 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 all these kind of things. Anything you want to say, put it down in the comments below. I'll thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one on Flying Wiener. Take care.